It is supposed to rain today, but so far super dry. Even the sun came out just now, but we are only having about 5 amps or something outside, so it's not too good. But it's the ideal weather for working here on the roof and getting these panels connected and installed. Yeah, unfortunately, when they took down the old system of the roof, they just cut off the MC4 connectors here sometimes. So I need to put new ones on there to connect all my panels. So, and here's the new setup. Another 1.7 kilowatts for free. Worked out pretty well. I measured the distance between the strings and I thought if I can push them a little bit closer to each other, I'm getting another 3 on here, but I don't. I've got only 1 meter space at the end then. And even if I squeeze them a little bit tighter, it won't get another 2 meters, which I would need for another row of panels then. So I'm getting another 2 on there and that's it. Maximum. But you know, here, so much space still, doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm happy to leave these larger gaps here. This is about 40 centimeters now. And well, this is nice. You can really lie down between these panels here and work underneath on the cabling or clean leaves and twigs and all this crap out of here. Birds' nests. Snakes. We need to worry about snakes underneath here. Alright, so far the mechanical part. Let's do some crimping and put some MC4 connectors back on these cables. I don't know why. Oh God, I'm not 50 anymore. Sun is coming out sometimes, and this is perfect for these cells here. They will produce so much energy then, insane. So these 2 panels here, which look a bit older due to this yellow faded board, they are actually a different brand to all the other ones. All these ones are Suntech and these ones are Resol. Doesn't matter. They've got almost the same specifications as these ones. I think there's only 1 volt difference, but the currents are the same. So in this case, it's totally fine to combine them with the other cells, and they will work perfectly with all the other ones. I bought them actually to have some spare ones for my roof there, in case one of the panels breaks and I need to replace it with the likewise panel. I bought 3 of them. I replaced already 1. So if I'm in need, I probably need to take one of these away here and then source another one. These are very common here on the Australian market. 190 watt panels, 45 volts, no load voltage. Man, you basically get them for free. And I thought, why would I keep them inside the garage all the time until something happens in 5, 6, 7 years time? I can easily park them here on top of the roof and they generate energy to charge my battery in my car. In an emergency, I can always take one of these away and put them on the house system there, because this one has always priority. This one makes a lot of money, so I need to keep this one running here on all costs for the next 7 years. Yeah, and then we go nuts on the house. Done. It's so easy. Yeah, if you wanna know more about how to crimp these MC4 connectors, just watch my first series of mounting the solar panels on the other side there. I explained all the details in many step-by-step videos. It's a whole series of educational videos I made about this. So don't be shy, click on them, it's free. And I just want to say something about comments I have seen under my videos, that people have suggested I should get rid of my solar charge controllers and buy one big one for all the panels together. This is just not possible, because we've got different panel types here. These ones, for example, are 220 watt panels, and the overall system voltage of 3 panels in a row is about 105 volts, no load voltage, while these ones have 145 volts, no load voltage. And I cannot parallel these two panels at all. This would be really bad, because these panels would then feed energy through these panels here, because the voltage difference is so large. This will never work. You always need to have different solar charge controllers if you have different system voltages. But I cannot get one big charge controller and control the whole system. This is only one reason you shouldn't do this. The other reason is, you can see it here from the orientation. This is east roof and this roof points to the west. So we have got a different orientation to the sun, different shading because of the trees here. And it's always better to have multiple charge controllers, which are then controlling only one side. When the sun in the morning shines on these panels, they've got a different maximum power point as these panels, which are away from the sun and maybe are shaded. So if you would combine them, the charge controller has a hard time to find the optimal point, and that's why it is better to have two smaller charge controllers. I made a video right at the beginning on this channel here, and I was asking the question, how many charge controllers do I actually need? Do I need 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solar charge controllers and connect only one string to each charge controller? Actually, that would be perfect, because due to the shading we have here in this location, every charge controller can then control only one string and can make sure it's running in the optimal power point. This one may be shaded, the other one may be half shaded, this one is in full sun. Yeah, so if you have 3 controllers, that would be perfect. So I'm leaving this option open for me at the moment. I'm running 2 charge controllers, one for each side of the roof here, control the east and the west side of the roof, and we will see how we go. If I'm going to install more solar charge controllers in the future, I don't know yet. I have to see how this performs and do some testing and measurement, and then we make a decision. I think it is all right as it is now if we parallel these 3 strings and connect them to one charge controller only, and then have these 2 strings to connect them to one charge controller. I think this is pretty optimal already. I really want to do some more testing about this and see if there is actually an efficiency gain if we would separate all these strings now. So I'll do some testing in the future, not now, not in the near future, but I'm really keen to find out if this makes actually a difference. Yeah, but these are the 2 reasons you should never connect these sort of installations to one charge controller only. It's probably all right with this cloudy weather now, but if you have full sunshine, we will have 2 Victron charge controllers in there and potentially a 3rd one for another installation over here or over here. I would really like to do something on here on the actual carport here. But this is all future. I think when this one is done, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to put all these panels up here just by yourself. It's very time consuming. All right, I have finished all the cabling now. I've crimped all the MC4 connectors now on there. This is all done. This is all perfect, fine now. And I think we can start connecting 1 or 2 strings and feed them down there and measure if we have around 140 volts now. No load voltage, open circuit voltage, whatever you want to call it. Okay, let's do that. So this is my first negative cable coming from the bottom solar, running all the way there across here and now going into the garage here. Now, as always, I'm marking them with my white pen here. First negative of the first string. All right, folks, that's pretty much it. 3 strings, 600 watts each, 570 have been installed now, mounted and cabled. So I have not connected the solar panels as a string now. I always have a loose connection here around this area here. There we go. And I've got the same over there, and the same on this side as well. This is where I connect my strings together. So positive, negative and positive of the panels are feeding down, but the string as such is not connected. I really don't want to do this. It's a 150 volt DC. Maybe not with this weather, but still it's not good. You want to be really careful with that. So the next step would be to connect all the cables down in the garage to the charge controller, and then as the last step connect the strings here. And this is exactly what we want to do. And then we can measure each string individually and can see if they work, if polarity is correct, and these sort of things. Well, also look at my knees. Well, at least the roof is clean now. And here we can see our 6 cables coming in, 3 negatives and 3 positives for each string. And you can clearly see the marking here, so we know which cable belongs to which string and if it is positive or negative. So next step will be I will connect all the negatives together, and then we probably connect the solar panels on the roof just for a test. So connect all the strings, and then we measure here from the negative to the positives and see if you get the same voltage, and also if the polarity is correct. That's probably what I want to check before I connect everything to my charge controller, because if I made a mistake and swapped positive and negative on one of the strings, we will have a 1200 watt short. You don't want that. You really don't want that, right? So better check twice and make sure everything is correct before we connect this here all in parallel. You can't imagine. Okay, I'm just connecting them temporarily. I'm not clicking them in. Sometimes it's hard to remove them again, especially here under the panels. So just connect them. That should be good. We should have power. So I hope you can see the voltage here. We have only 50 volts. What's going on there? Okay. I need to put this on DC so it actually works. Again, 118 volt positive, 118.6 positive, 117.5 positive. That's positive, right? It's pretty positive actually. I'm positive it's correct. Nice. See, they already have 117 volts now. No load, open circuit voltage. And the other panels are maybe running on 70, 80 volts now, and you cannot combine them at all. You cannot parallel them. That would not work. So that's why you need a second charge controller. All right, I'm disconnecting the panels again, the strings, so I can safely connect the positive cables down there. It's just another step of safety. Potentially I don't have to do this because in theory you can only get shocked if you touch the positive and the negative at the same time, which I wouldn't do because the negative is already connected and isolated, and well, it's already plugged into the terminal and screwed in and tightened and everything, so there's no chance I can actually touch the negative. But just from security perspective, and it's not a big deal to come onto the roof again. It's like the 687th time now I'm going down and up this ladder, so it doesn't matter if it's once more or not. Okay, let's connect all the positives together and then we measure again in there. So what I will do now is I will take my crocodile clamps. This is our positive cable going to the charge controller, and I will connect every single string of the solar panels individually now to measure the performance and see if they are roughly the same. So this is the first one, and now we can go back to the charge controller and measure the polarity before we turn it on. So how I mark them is the positive on the left and the negative on the right. I will go in here and measure. We've got 118 volts. Can you see that? Yeah, 118.7 volts positive. So there's no negative symbol in front of it, so the polarity is correct. There's the same polarity as here, and we've got the positive marked down there, negative marked down there, and the same here, positive and negative. Well, just because I haven't tightened the cables yet, I just checked them again, this cable, because positive and negative are on the other side here on this controller. See that? We've got positive left, negative right, and it's different over here. It's negative left and positive right. Very tricky, Victron, very tricky. It's the other way around here for the battery. That is all good. Okay, so the first thing is we want to turn this circuit breaker on, turn on the charge controller itself. And let's go into the Victron app and see if it shows up. Yes, there it is. See, I've renamed the existing one to East Roof. Oh, I clicked on it. East Roof. And I will do the same for the second one, West Roof. So, connecting the first time, it should ask us to pair it. And the default code is 6 times zeros, pair and connect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And there's a new firmware update available. Current version is 2.14. Oh, that's an older one. Ah, that's for the Bluetooth. Okay. Okay, let's do the update quickly. So the firmware for the Bluetooth has now been updated. And that's pretty much it. Okay. That's the one. We should have a look. We should see the battery voltage already in there. Yeah, we've got the battery voltage. And now we can also join unsecured access. Okay, not now. It wants me to change the pin. Okay, let's go into the VE Smart Networking. Join existing. And there's the off-grid garage Bluetooth Victron network, which we can join. And you always want to do this because all these devices now, they share information with each other. So the smart shunt in the battery box, for example, gives the correct voltage and battery status to the charge controllers and to the inverter maybe as well. And you can see, yeah, the new charge controller now uses external battery voltage sense from the smart shunt. And it has a synchronized charging with the other charge controller. Whatever that means, I don't know yet, but I'll find out. That sounds interesting. So they are all connected to the Bluetooth network. Okay, we don't user defined. It would be nice if we have a synchronization there as well to the other controller. 48 volts, 35 amps. Yeah, we don't worry about the settings for the battery. We can optimize this later on. We just want to see if it charges at all. So this is all being connected correctly now, updated. Charge controller is running. And we just need to turn on our fuses there to have the first string connected to our new charge controller. And we should see a voltage. We should see a voltage for the solar right away. Okay, let's do that and hope for the best. Okay, it's on. We've got 119 volts there. So it now starts sensing the maximum power point, tracking kicks in. And we are charging the first time ever from our west roof, string number 1. It's only 40 watts. It is so cloudy outside. That is a bad test, right? But see how far the voltage comes down? It's tracking the maximum power point. It's trying to maximize the wattage to supply the most amount of power now to the battery, which is probably 40 watts only. Yeah, it's around 50 watts, stabilizes there. So it's 1 amp coming from this one string. Let's go up the ladder again, here in the garage. Oh, that fits perfectly in here. Nice. Alright, so this is our first string. There's only one plus on there, and I'll take the crocodile cable off. Voltage goes to 0 here, and we connect the string number 2. Got 2 positive symbols on there. You can see 120 volts coming from the second string, which is the middle one. And we'll see if we get roughly 50 watts as well. Should be the same condition. 48, 46, still sensing. Trying to maximize the power now. There you go, 40, 48. Yeah, still sensing. There we go. I think we got it now, 49 watts, exactly the same as the other string. Perfect. Okay, string number 3 is this one. Let's see, 118 volts. There we go, synchronized now, 51 watts. Roughly the same as the other strings as well. Alright, so this is all good now. What I will do now is disconnect the strings again on the roof. I will connect all these 3 positive cables coming from the solar panels and the positive cable going to the charge controller into one terminal, and then we are done up here as well. I need to push these cables back up the roof a little bit. They are a little bit too long. I'm always happy to have some slack here a little bit, just for future maintenance. It's always good to have the cables a little bit longer. So this will give us another 150 watts now at this weather condition at the moment. What does the other side say? East roof. Just to compare this. Yeah, this is 150 watts as well on the east roof, because we've got the clouds. The lighting conditions are almost the same everywhere. You cannot tell where the sun is actually. The sun should be over there, but it's super dark. So they're getting the same lighting conditions at the moment. Same power coming from these 2 strings. I'm super excited, it works. Guys, another big step forward. That is insane, right? That is insane. I'm so happy again. Ah. Okay, back to work. We did it again. All right. I somehow managed to get this all into this little junction box. Ah. Nice. There you have it. This is our incoming cable, and there we go along to the charge controller inside there. Nice. I had to use the torch just to make sure all these trains, all the single cores of the cables are actually in the terminal, you know, because the terminals are not very large, and they are certainly not designed to take 4mm cables. But I've tried it here a couple of times here on the workbench with some offcuts, and it worked just fine. But it's a different situation up there, but it's all good now. They're all in, and then the main cable going to the charge controller has 3 times 5 amps, or 15 amps to carry for a 4mm cable. I think we are totally fine. All right, this is all connected. I'll go back on the roof quickly and connect the solar panels correctly. Click them all in this time. Permanent connection, and then we turn on the circuit breaker again here on the charge controller and see how much power we get from 3 strings. Not much. Not much at this weather. Not much. Well, it was hard work. The string number 3 didn't want to click in. No way. 2 used MC4 connectors, and there was no way to push them in, nothing. So, ended up, it's not sponsored. Who's making this stuff? Well, WD-50 producers, if you watch this, hit me up. Just a tiny drop on the O-ring on the MC4 connectors, and you could hear the most beautiful and gentle and quiet click. With one hand, I could click them together. Perfect. If there would be an apocalypse and I would be on a stranded island, this is what I would take. WD-40 helps for everything. Everything. Probably I should take something else as well. Can't eat that shit, hey? Okay, so one last final measurement here on the breaker. 116 volts plus, all three strings in parallel. All right, I'm brave enough. Turn it on. No explosion, just the blue flashing light, which is good. All right, we have 117 volts on the charge controller. It's ramping up now. Trying to find the maximum power point. That is so exciting. Should be around 150, right? It takes a while to find the maximum power point. Well, is that all now? 87 watts. It is actually getting darker outside now. I think we are getting some rain very soon. Let's check the other roof, east roof, and see how much power this one produces. Ah, see, this is only 80 watts as well. As I said, it got darker outside. So 70 watts each side. Okay guys, I think this is how far we go today. Everything is connected, everything is working fine. I'll just tidy up some stuff here. And guys, I'm so tired really. Since Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yesterday was Easter Sunday, the kids were there, so I did only a little bit on the morning. And then Easter Monday today, day number 4. Full power, full through, all day long in the garage here. Thankfully, my wife has got her own hobby. But we've got it connected, guys. We've got it connected. I didn't think about we actually make it because there was so much rain yesterday and there was far more rain forecasted for today. But who can forecast the weather, you know? Since when is this working? As always, guys, thank you so much for all your support here on the channel, for all your help, all your assistance, all your comments, all your subscriptions, and all your feedback, of course. You stay charged, stay safe, and we shall see us again in the next video. Probably tomorrow, yeah, probably tomorrow morning again with more stuff here from the Off-Grid Garage. I actually want to do some very interesting stuff in regards to the Victron gear and connectivity. So stay tuned for that, it will be amazing. Alright guys, until then, bye bye.